So in our chronological run-through of the Clone Wars, we are coming up on the Mon Cala Civil War and the Battle of Mon Cala, and it raises some interesting points about the allegiances of the Quarren during the Clone Wars, which is actually not quite as black and white as one would expect. So today let's talk about where the Quarren sat during the galactic conflict and where their allegiances really lie. I'm Colin, and this is Sci-Fi Deep Dive. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, to head down below and hit that subscribe button. So the Quarren are one of two major races that live on Mon Cala, the other being the Mon Calamari. And while the Quarren generally were members of the Republic, their allegiances are questionable. So I figured today we'd take a look at exactly what this complex relationship between the Quarrens, the Separatists, and the Republic looked like, and how it manifested practically. So in general, most would consider the Quarren to be a member species of the Separatist Alliance. They tended to side with the Confederacy during the war, always feeling second to their planetary companions, the Mon Calamari, who shared their homeworld. As a result, many Quarren sided more with the ideals of the Separatists during the Separatist Crisis, where a lot of them sought to distance themselves from the Republic, and this was the perfect opportunity, a burgeoning civil movement against the Republic. As a result, many Quarren factions sided more with the Separatists at the outbreak of the conflict, which put Mon Cala in a very interesting spot, including the position of Mon Cala in the Galactic Senate. Mon Cala actually had a Quarren representative at the start of the war, a Quarren representative who switched sides basically the moment the conflict started, opting instead to defect to the Separatists and represent the Quarren interests in the Separatist Parliament, as opposed to remaining a member of the Galactic Senate. He was replaced by another Quarren representative that was more loyal to the Republic, but we can actually see some major Quarren industries follow him over to the Separatists. Most notably were their shipbuilding and engineering firms, many of which took lucrative contracts with the Separatist Alliance in order to maintain their profit margins. After all, the Republic already had firm contracts on the construction of their warships, so if shipyards elsewhere in the galaxy wanted to manufacture warships, the most lucrative contracts they could get were with the Separatists. And that's exactly what happened. In fact, several major Separatist ship types were designed by Quarren engineers and manufactured exclusively by Quarren shipyards. Some of the most notable classes here would be the Providence-class dreadnought and the Recusant-class destroyer, both of which are purely Quarren in design, but built specifically for the Separatist cause after the outbreak of the conflict. Some very quickly after the outbreak of the conflict. So the Quarrens were very displeased with the way the Republic was handling things across the galaxy in many of the similar ways that other Separatist factions were. So, like I said, it ended up splitting their allegiances when the war broke out. But while many Quarren organizations and officials switched their support over to the Confederacy, there were several that remained loyal to the Republic throughout the conflict, and we can see this with the growing civil war on Mon Cala. You see, while Mon Cala's representative in the Galactic Senate was, at least at the time, a Quarren, their leadership was almost always Mon Calamari. At least the last few kings of Mon Cala had been Mon Calamari, and the next one in the line of succession was a Mon Calamari. This further bred resentment among the Quarren people, who feel like secondary citizens on their own planet, a planet that, by the way, bears the name of their companion species that they share their homeworld with. Which is why, before the outbreak of the Mon Cala Civil War, the Quarrens reached out to the Separatists to send advisors to these negotiations. Advisors that would eventually get entangled in the civil conflict and lead to the explosive outbreak of a civil war, egged on by the Separatists and kind of backed by the Republic, which ultimately leads us to the Battle of Mon Cala, which is something I plan on covering very soon in Battle Analysis. Ultimately, the Quarrens themselves are a very interesting species, and the role they play within the Star Wars galaxy is very unique, as shipbuilders that have to share their homeworld with other shipbuilders. After all, we're all familiar with Mon Calamari cruisers that would play a crucial role in the coming galactic civil war following the rise of the Empire. Anyway, this all comes down, though, to a major decision point for the Quarren people and the Quarren government, and that came with the rising separatist crisis, which divided the galaxy and sent huge chunks of the galaxy sort of spiraling off towards independence. And if you'd like to learn about the separatist crisis, which led to the Clone Wars, I'll leave a link up here to my video on that. And I'd like you to let me know, if you were trying to design a system of government for Mon Cala, a planet with two equally advanced but independent civilizations, how would you govern a world like that from the perspective of, say, the Galactic Republic? Would you have two representatives, one for each species, or would you try to have them have a single collective representative in the Galactic Senate? And if you have anything else you'd like to see me cover in Star Wars, you can let me know down below in the comments. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, head down below, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified when I upload new videos. So for Sci-Fi Deep Dive, I'm Colin, and I will see you next time.